I sit here today, a confused, disappointed, and embarrassed young man. 20-year-old man, by the way. Saturday night, UFC 162, Anderson Silva got KO'd. I was debating on what I had to say. Was I going to say Chris Weidman was the better man? No. Then I was like, oh, I know what I could say. I could say that the fight was fixed. I was like, fight's fixed, fight's fixed. But no, that's not the case either. What ended up happening is, as an Anderson Silva fan, I know, as many other Anderson Silva fans know, that he can be his own worst enemy. What we saw from him was not only uncalled for and disappointing, but it's something that we have seen over the course of years. Was it shocking that he was out there, come on, hit me, take me down? No, because Chris Weidman was shook. Chris Weidman was shook because after Anderson got out of those 2 or 3 submission holds, Weidman was done right then and there. You could see it in his eyes, you could see it in his body language. But when Anderson dropped his hands in the second round, and Weidman was like, screw it. He said in the press conference, he was just like, he's trying to take me out of it mentally. Screw it, I'm going to hit him. And he hit him. Anderson went down. Was Anderson defenseless? It was borderline for me. I would say he was defenseless. I think the fight should have been stopped right there because his head did bounce like a basketball off the mat. But was he completely out of it? No. But I think that one thing that I do know about Anderson, he's lived in LA for the past 4 or 5 years, and know he misses Brazil, and he forced his family to move out here from time to time. They stay out here time to time in LA, so I do know that he does miss his family. I mean, there's no excuse for him getting KO'd, but think about it, a 38-year-old man, children are getting older, and he's not there. He's over here in a foreign country to him. That has a lot to do with what happened, and I just think that he lost his motivation. Like, I think he was tired of being the champ. 7-year run. I mean, what could you ask for from the man? He's done everything in the UFC he possibly could do except fight Jon Jones and GSP. The Jon Jones thing, I think that also played a factor into what happened Saturday night. I don't think that he really wanted to fight Jon Jones anyways. Like he said it last week. Thanks Dylan for pointing this out to me. He said last week that he think if he fought Jon Jones, he would lose. If he would beat Chris Weidman, there'd be nobody else in the middleweight division. That means he either had to fight GSP or Jon Jones. And so I think that he made a decision to, I don't want to say lay down for Chris Weidman, but I think he made up in his mind that he didn't want to go through with those fights. Anderson is one of the nicer guys in MMA. I mean, so I don't think it's fair for people to say that he got cocky or he was arrogant or anything like, or he was horse playing around. He's done it plenty of times and people have ended up knocked out. Forrest Griffin said that he threw a punch at Anderson and Anderson moved his head and Anderson looked at him like, are you stupid? Did you really think you were going to hit me? And with Stephan Bonnar was on steroids. Anderson was toying with him, told him, come here, hit me. Stood on the cage and let Stephan Bonnar tee off on him in the face. And then we all know what happened to Stephan Bonnar. Stephan Bonnar got taken out. Then after the fight, found out he was on steroids to make him look even worse, but made Anderson look like he's a freaking monster, which he is. And I honestly believe there is nothing in the world this man can't do if he wanted to do it. And I think when he gets in the octagon, he does what he wants to do. I mean, In his UFC debut, he took out Chris Levin easily. I mean, a lot of his fights, when he's focused or when there's like, I don't know if he can beat this guy, he rises to the occasion and he takes him out. I think whatever he wants to do in an octagon, he could do. And I think out of all people, Chris Weidman even knows that. Dana White knows that. And I personally don't think Anderson's retiring. I just think he's going to rest up a little bit. I think at the end of the day, if they fight again, you won't see that Anderson, and I guarantee you that title will not be around Chris Weidman's waist anymore. Because it's one thing to piss off a, a boxer, but when you piss off the greatest martial artist of all time, a man that his record speaks for itself. You can look at all his highlight films; they speak for themselves. The man can do anything that he wants to do, and you put his back against the wall in this situation. Chris Weidman is gonna have a bad day when they fight again, because I think that Anderson will come back. I think Anderson will fight for the championship again because he's gonna feel embarrassed. He's gonna see what people are saying about him, and he's gonna kill him just like he should have done Saturday night. Because at the end of the day, Chris Weidman, he may be the champion for right now, but he's not gonna be the champion for long. Because his first title defense will belong to Anderson Silva. Because Dana White said the first match is gonna be the rematch. And I honestly believe that Silva will come back stronger than ever. He only has one loss in the UFC compared to all the other people that you say are great. He has only one loss. This was his one loss, a loss that he could have avoided by taking it a little bit more seriously, but also a loss that gives him time to reflect over his career and look back over his life and all this other stuff. And I'm disappointed. Me and Chicken Hooters got on me and it kind of made me mad and everything, but it's all good. I think that we haven't seen the last of Anderson Silva. He will be back, and we will see a different Anderson Silva. I don't think it's crazy. I don't think he could go up another level. But if anybody in the UFC that could take it up another notch, it is him, which is very scary, especially since he's the greatest of all time already. I can't wait to see what happens when he comes back. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you, and I don't know, next time I post a video, it's been a while, but I felt like I needed to address this because people asked me to address this situation. Thank you, and God bless.